This is ANAplus, powered by the African News Agency. My name is Lance Witten. You're watching News Bites, where we give you everything you need to know about Africa now. Not too long ago, Tunisia suffered twin bomb attacks that rocked the tiny North African nation. The first attack targeted a police patrol in the capital, Tunis. The second suicide bomber then hit a counter-terrorism unit that was en route from its barracks to investigate the first suicide bombing. One officer was killed and 8 other people were injured. ISIS has claimed responsibility for the attack. We'll come back to why that's important in a bit. But first, a little bit about Tunisia. The country is the northernmost in Africa, and the continent's northernmost point is also located in Tunisia. There are about 11 million inhabitants. The important thing to note about Tunisia is that it is the only Arab country to have emerged from the 2011 Arab Spring as a democracy. It was a hard-fought democracy, and the country is now gearing up for elections in October. Its president, Beji Said Essebsi, has announced he would not stand for re-election. That's a good thing too. The man is 92 years old. After the attacks in Tunis, he fell ill and was hospitalized, but he has since returned to work. Arab Spring helped the Tunisians rid themselves of Zine al-Abidine Ben Ali after 23 years in power. But following the uprising, Tunisia faced the rise in jihadism. This is where ISIS comes in. The terror group and Al-Qaeda have posed a significant threat to peace and security in the country since Arab Spring and have carried out insurgent attacks since the revolution. The biggest and most brazen attack came in 2015, where tourist hotspot Sousse was attacked, killing 38 people. Seeing as Tunisia is on the Mediterranean and Greece, Italy, France, Spain and Turkey are just a hop, skip and a jump away, it's a popular tourist destination. The tourism sector registered a 45% increase in revenue earlier in 2019, and tourism contributes about 8% to the country's total GDP. European tourists are seen as an important driver in the sector, and hours after the twin terror attacks on Thursday, June 27, Tunisia's tourism minister quickly allayed fears, saying the country was still open for business. The US has meanwhile shut its embassy out of security fears, par for the course for the states. The thing that's worrying security experts, however, is the fact that the 2 attacks last week were so well coordinated, unlike anything seen before in Tunisia. The country is also facing a number of problems apart from terrorism. There's rampant inflation and their infrastructure is falling apart. I had the privilege of speaking to the founder of Tunisian grassroots civil movement Reich, Tunsi Olfateris, when she was on a visit to South Africa, and she told me the people were fed up with politicians and the promises they made. The government, she said, had failed to maintain infrastructure, schools were falling apart and hospitals were running out of medicines. Most Tunisians could barely afford to put food on the table. The people want change. You're seeing a pattern here, right? Elsewhere in Africa, the Sudanese continue to protest for a civilian-led government, having been under military rule for so long. Tunisians also want their government to listen to their needs and respond accordingly. Now, the ruling party in Tunisia is also deeply fractured, with factions declaring party leaders without the blessing of the party's president. With Essebsi stepping down, it will be interesting to see where the power shifts once elections roll around in October. But of pressing concern is the seeming re-emergence of ISIS in Africa. As the fight against global terror networks continue in the Middle East and Western forces are claiming victories over the caliphate, it's spreading its tendrils into unstable regions in Africa, capitalizing on the lack of a coordinated security and anti-terrorism strategy. ISIS and its affiliates are expanding into West Africa. Apparent mergers with Boko Haram has led to a massive unrest in northern Nigeria, killing 100 soldiers as it overran a military base. The group then attacked and killed 23 soldiers during a raid in Chad. ISIS has been active in the Sahel region under the name Islamic State West Africa Province and is slowly gaining and building support as it is squeezed out of the Middle East, growing more brazen in its attacks on African countries, most recently claiming responsibility for those twin terror bombings in Tunisia. ISWAP earlier in 2019 claimed responsibility for attacks as far south as Mozambique, as it continues to seek support from other terror groups like Al-Shabaab, Nusra Front and others. It's also employing a different strategy, coercing people to gain support rather than threatening them, offering them protection in exchange for them not cooperating with the Nigerian military. Well, let's hope Africa can respond and shut this growing threat out before the group gains any more territory and support. This is News Bites on ANAplus. My name is Lance Witten. We make Africa matter.